Coming up at 11, the Bahamas gets ready for the possibility of Hurricane Erika. Flooding seen throughout New Providence today. And Jeffrey Gibson lines up at the starting line going after a medal. Find out if he made the podium. The Bahamas tonight. The National Report at 11 starts right now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
Tropical Storm Erika takes aim for the entire Bahamian chain. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you for joining us here at 11. Tonight, we're tracking the tropics as Erika is expected to strengthen as it looks to slice through the Bahamian archipelago. For the latest on the trek of Hurricane Erika, at the possibility of Hurricane Erika, that is, meteorologist Greg Thompson joins us live in the studio with the latest coordinates. Good evening, Greg. Now, which islands will first be impacted by the possibility of this tropical storm or hurricane?
Good evening, everybody. The southeastern Bahamas expected to start feeling the effects of this system by at least Friday into Saturday. Showers and thunderstorms will be moving across your area and possibly tropical storm force winds. This system will continue on its trek as the Atlantic hurricane season gets very active. Danny moving across Puerto Rico right now, possibly affecting Hispaniola and some southern islands across the Bahamas chain. But this is the system we're continuing to watch, which is Tropical Storm Erika. Taking a look at the 5 p.m. coordinates, 15.6 degrees north latitude, 52.8 degrees west, maximum winds at 40 miles per hour. Its movement is towards the west at 20 miles per hour, roughly about 605 miles to the east of Antigua, which is in the Leeward Islands, right along this island chain. The system is trying to get its act together. Earlier today, lost some sting, but by this afternoon, convections flared up quite a lot across the system, mainly to the south and east of the system. Upper level system, actually surface circulation still to the north of the system, but it's trying to get its act together. It's expected to continue moving on its way towards the west, eventually turning more west-northwest over the next 24 to 48 hours. Staying as a tropical storm as it gets into the southeastern Bahamas. That will be by late Friday into Saturday, moving into the central Bahamas by Saturday into Sunday, and then by Sunday we expect it to be across the northwest Bahamas, possibly as a hurricane. So we're asking you residents across the southeast Bahamas and the entire chain to continue to monitor progress of the system as it is expected to affect us by Friday. Chris?
All right, Greg, thanks a lot. Residents in the southern islands, like you said, could be feeling the effects of Tropical Storm Erika as early as Saturday morning. In a press conference held late this afternoon at its Gladstone Road headquarters, officials at the National Emergency Management Agency says over the next few days they will continue to monitor the storm, but they're in a state of readiness. NEMA's director, Captain Stephen Russell, provided members of the media with an update today.
We have been planning and making sure that we're covering all aspects of our preparedness and response and mitigation plan. So we're fairly comfortable. We hope that our communications stand up well for us. All of our island administrators have satellite phones which have been tested. The Defense Force, through the advanced team that would go there, would take some additional communications assets for us to make sure that all of the islands are able to connect.
Captain Russell confirmed that members of the Disaster Preparedness Committee have been meeting since February to ensure they would be ready for any disaster. Representatives from the Department of Meteorology, the Ministry of Works, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the Public Hospitals Authority, and the Bahamas Telecommunication Company also provided updates on its level of preparedness. Acting Defense Force Lieutenant Commander Ricardo Barry confirmed that officers will be deployed by late Wednesday, early Thursday. As it stands, NEMA could be partially activated by Thursday morning.
At present, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force have activated our hurricane platoons. These platoons consist of two separate teams. The first team is our advanced team. This team is deployed to the threatened area prior to the system arriving. The second team is our impact team. This team is then deployed to the area after the system has passed.
We are in a state of readiness in terms of medical supplies for the Family Island clinics, inclusive of also the main hospitals here in Nassau, the Rand Memorial Hospital in Freeport, and the hospitals here in Nassau would be the Princess Margaret Hospital and the Sutherland's Rehabilitation Center. And so, in addition to pharmaceutical supplies, medical supplies, we also have medical and surgical supplies. So your gauzes, your gowns, and your syringes, your needles for those diabetic patients. And so we are in a complete state of readiness.
Residents experienced severe flooding throughout the capital today as heavy torrential downpours dumped several inches in many communities in New Providence. In fact, traffic was significantly impacted by the flooding of roads, causing in many areas a backup of vehicles. The country's main tertiary education institution, the College of the Bahamas' Oaks Field campus, was forced to shut its doors today after encountering serious flooding as well. The local construction industry has taken quite a hit in recent times. However, it seemed a turnaround was looming as work on major developments such as Baha Mar ramped up. But that all changed when the developer for the Bahamian Riviera, Sarkis's Merlion, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. courts back in June, delaying the much-anticipated opening of the $3.5 billion resort. An executive from the Bahamas Contractors Association weighs in on this matter with our CS Adderley.
Vice President of Public Relations for the Bahamian Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, says as it stands in the Baha Mar saga, many of the smaller subcontractors who have been working on the development are suffering as they have no hand to play until the major parties come to an agreement. Claims have been made of shoddy work being done on the project. Just last month, Baha Mar's developer Sarkis's Merlion wrote a letter to the president of the China Export-Import Bank proposing to let Bahamian contractors complete the project.
I find that to be very interesting, and I'll say the word interesting is in fact that because we originally, wanted more involvement than we've had. Coming towards Christmas, there was a ramping up of Bahamian involvement. You looked at the site and you saw a lot of Bahamian jumping off buses and going through the gates. So I would say that while we've had some involvement in the project, we would have obviously liked to have more. I don't know if it is fair for us to speak to the level of work because of the Bahamian involvement or non-Bahamian involvement. I think most of those times it comes down to the contract, what is the specifics of it, what is the specification that they're asked to adhere to.
Sands says Baha Mar has presented a unique challenge for the local construction industry.
We've never had a $3.5 billion project, so we didn't know how to react to it. I think now having had this experience, which is really a good experience for us to gauge how our level of involvement for the construction industry we want to be in it, I think that there's no doubt in the Bahamian society and the Bahamian contractors' mind that we could perform. I think that there needs to be an appreciation of that from the politician, the stakeholders, the persons who negotiate these deals to get us more involved in it.
Moving forward, Sands is looking for the BCA's membership to have more involvement in developments around the country from the very beginning. But he says it all boils down to regulating the industry.
That's what the investor is used to coming from his origin, coming from his place where he's done hotels, whether it's in LA, Dubai, Japan, wherever in the world. They have an organized system of recognizing who is able to perform work.
In order for the local construction industry to experience any major growth, Sands says the time is now for industry professionals to ensure that everyone is on a level playing field, qualified locally and internationally. C.S. Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts says the mediation with Baha Mar stakeholders is what the government was trying to do before and after the company filed for bankruptcy back in June. Yesterday, Tourism Minister the Honorable Obi Wolsham called on the government to set aside the winding up petition in order for the project to proceed.
That pursuit has been the intent of the government all along. The Prime Minister sent the Attorney General and a team to China on 2 occasions and has had talks over and repeatedly with Mr. Ismailin. That's exactly what the Prime Minister was attempting to do, but to no avail. So how long do you talk? You talk until the birds come home? there has to be some culmination of talks.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Letty, designed for extra miles.